A mansion mystery, room drafting dilemma, and plenty of puzzles. This is Blueprints.
Then this gift shall lapse.
As always, this review is spoiler-free as best it can be, especially when it comes to a game that is about puzzles and discovery. All of the footage has been taken from the first few days and is mostly used to showcase mechanics. If you're concerned about seeing too much, then just play this in the background and come back after and leave a comment. Cool? Cool. Sat on my desk are a stack of notes and scribbled drawings that show the slow descent into madness of someone who tried to find the 46th room in a manor filled with only 45 rooms. Single words written all in capitals, circled, underlined. They occupy pages that also hold doodles, sketches of entire layouts, days of just going through this mansion that I spent searching Mount Holly, trying to unravel the secrets that lay within it. I know I'm not alone in this outcome as well. The game advises you to take notes, and if you've seen any of the praise that other reviewers are lavishing this game with, you'll have seen their tales about having notes like this already. If you pick up Blueprints, you'll end up joining this alum. You too will end up with a red string corkboard filled with room names, letters, pictures, sketches, doodles, and crazed screaming. Blueprints sets you up with a simple premise. You are the heir to Mount Holly, and you've been tasked with finding the mysterious 46th room. Only hurdle is you're not allowed to spend the night in the manor, and every morning when you go back to exploring, the layout has completely changed. A dead end that used to be a hallway, a drawing room where before there was an observatory. Every door you open in Blueprints holds new potentials and new pitfalls. And this right here is the system that I adore the most in Blueprints. Some of my favorite board games utilize a tile drafting mechanic. Carcassonne, Betrayal at House on the Hill, and Suburbia all occupy top spots for me because of this kind of system. And so, Blueprints taking the idea and running with it just reached out to me and smacked me across the face to get my attention. You see, you start each day standing in the entrance hall to Mount Holly, and there are 3 doors before you. Each door you interact with within the manor will then draw room tiles from your pool. You'll pick one to play down, and then that's the room that you can enter into. Over the course of the day, you'll build out your own version of Mount Holly, hoping to get closer to the answers held within. You see, they say there's a fine line between madness and genius, and you'll be flipping sides frequently. They'll start blurring together. You'll discover a new room holding clues to a puzzle you've been tracking down, and then you'll follow that up with a room that you find nothing in at first, until an hour later, you realize that it held the answer to something you didn't even know you were looking for. Each dead end you place down will remove it from the pool, so you'll open yourself up to having more chances to progress later. Your notes are going to be your lifeline to keeping track of everything going on in Blueprints, including your pool of rooms. You might have a few notes, you see, regarding which side of the house certain rooms are drafted on. Or you could end up with a meticulous stack of, this is every room in the pool, here are how many doors it holds, this is the shape, this is what color it is. There isn't a wrong answer, it just depends what your goal is, and both are acceptable. You could strategically play down dead ends and right angles at key locations to optimize your hallways and ability to head north, further and further into that mansion. Or you could build the manor up on one side of the house instead, and looking for specific rooms to give you the answers for the puzzles you're trying to solve. Not everything is about rushing to that 46th room. There's a lot more going on here. There's backstory and side puzzles going on. If you want them, you could hit that 46th room if you're really interested in it. If 46 is the thing you want, you could just go straight for that. Hit it, roll credits, and then stop. And you would have an enjoyable time breaking that mystery. But there's more going on here. There's more puzzles that you can break down and figure out more of the story of what's going on in this world and this manor. The expression, when one door closes, another opens, is a mantra you should hold on to if you want to prevent frustration at hitting a dead end here, because you're going to need to open more than one door, and you're going to have more than one close in your face that you're unable to open. You should always be trying to focus on working on multiple things so that if something doesn't work out, there's something else for you to look for, because otherwise you're going to end up frustrated. And that's what works to Blueprints' benefit. It showcases the frustration you can end up hitting, the randomness that you encounter, but it can be mitigated somewhat by understanding the drafting mechanics at play and knowing what rooms you're looking for. This knowledge doesn't help with the exasperation. Sure, you can have, you know, your third day of having nothing happen and you're just hitting dead end after dead end, and that sucks. Knowing everyone is driving home from work at the same time doesn't prevent you from getting annoyed from being stuck in traffic. Knowledge is great, but you're human, and sometimes things just suck. There was a point around day 20 where I had a few side projects and I was aiming to get to the top of the manor. I'd knocked off a good number of puzzles, I'd modified my drafting pool, and I was happy with where things were. There were smaller goals that I could work towards, and some I'm sure I still haven't discovered at this point. But the core ones that I had on my list broke down as follows. I needed 3 items and a specific room, and for the other I needed 2 specific rooms and a certain pattern. And for days in a row I ended up seeing fragments of each and making progress on nothing, and there was nothing I could do except rack them up and go again, because I wasn't sure if there was anything else that I could start, and these were the 2 on top of like getting to room 46 that I was focusing on, because I didn't want to overload myself and try to just end up spreading out too much. I'm sure there might have been other aspects to work on, but I either wasn't smart enough to see them or I'd already wrapped some up. And when you get that far into the game, when you're juggling these ideas and half-finished puzzles and you're trying to focus on what you can see, it's valid to work on the puzzles you have. And the game tries to tell you, don't neglect new rooms, and that's a great way of mitigating this frustration. It can add new puzzles, new ideas, or new answers to you, and you might be able to slot them in at certain places in your manor, and that helps beat that frustration at times. Because one thing that you should not do in this game is focus on one single thread. That's a surefire way to end up getting frustrated when things don't work out the way you want them to. And if that happens several days in a row, it's going to wear you down. Because the rest of the game is strong enough to keep it enjoyable. The core game and the core goal of getting to 46 while working on other mysteries is just stellar. It can, however, flare frustration when you're trying to progress the few remaining puzzles that you have or think you have, and you feel like you can only influence your odds of that deck and what you're drawing so much. If you're unlucky, you're still unlucky, regardless of how many people online are telling you that it's your fault, not the game, and you don't understand RNG. That doesn't help in that situation. Where does that leave us? Okay, Blueprints will set you back £22, 26 euros, or an amount of dollars that I don't know. During our 25 hours of playtime, we unlocked a single achievement out of 16 available, because some of these require time investment from you, or very, very large amounts of runs. If you bounce off of Blueprints, it's most likely going to be due to that frustration that randomness can end up causing. If you can tolerate it though, or if you are aware of it going in and know that you should keep your eyes open so that you can discover everything that this game is trying to show you, then you're going to find beneath that surface an exceptional puzzle game that is willing to open its doors and welcome you inside.